All right. It is April 24th, 2022. Haven't made a video in a bit. We're just going to go over simple stuff. The books that have been consumed this year. Some have been read. Some I've listened to. Some I did both. Some I listened to and read at the same time. I take a lot of notes. And I read everything from sci-fi to biographies. Love it all. It's fantastic. And you can always get better. Now, first things first. My wife got me this apparently on the last Oktoberfest. And I didn't make a video, so I didn't use it. It was so, but it's going to be awesome. And I'm very excited. Came with a big old glass. Woo! Yeah, baby. And I know it's not October, but it doesn't mean we can't celebrate it. This is for my family that's out in Germany. Who do you? Lots ahead. Woo, watch out. Delicious. Oh, that's yummy. Drink that all night in a tent. Hope you don't go to jail. Excellent. That's yummy. However you say this, I know it's backwards. All the people at Habla Deutsch don't know what that is. It's awesome. All right. So first book of the year was Plato. Gorgias. It's good. Socratic Dialogues, fantastic. All right. Next book was World War Z. This is actually a real fun sci-fi book. It's not a story. It's nothing like the movie. It's a journal format. But it's good. And there's some good heavy politics and stuff going on. Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. Excellent. Only John Wyndham book I've ever read in my life. I need to read all of his books. This was awesome. I highly recommend it. Chuck Palahniuk, I don't know how you say his last name, Fight Club. You probably saw the movie. The book's excellent, and the movie adaptation actually did a really good job. Great book. Awesome. Philip K. Dick, again, because we all need more Dick in our lives. The Man in the High Castle. It's good. It's really good. Maybe because I saw the first season of the TV show. It was a little bit overinflated in my head. I don't know. It was good. It's excellent. It's Dick. You're going to like it. Ira Levin. This Perfect Day. This is the shittiest cover of all the fucking books I've read so far this year. One of the best books. One of the best books. This Perfect Day. Fantastic dystopian. Up there with 1984. Brave New World. The Mandibles. The list goes on. This definitely belongs in that category. A Canticle for Leibowitz by Walter M. Miller Jr. Arguably one of the top books I've read so far this year and in the last few years. This is definitely up there. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. End of the world. Post-apocalyptic. Then you got a little sci-fi thing going on. And it is, it's amazing. Big religious themes. Read it. It's good. I like it as much as Earth Abides, which is one of my favorite sci-fi end of the world books, which is a 10. All my wife and kids liked it. It's that good. It's good. All right. The first bad book I read of the year was Isaac Asimov's The Gods Themselves. Big holes. Had moments where it was going to be really good, and then it was fucking stupid. skip that one. Kurt Vonnegut, Dead-Eye Dick. Dead-Eye Dick is a good fucking book. And the moral of the story is don't fuck your kids up. Just don't fuck them up. Ursula K. Le Guin. First book of hers that I've read, The Lathe of Heaven. This is a good book. You got flying sea turtles stuff. It's a cool book. You'd like it. Alright. Which pile is next? That's the one pile. Dead-Eye Dick, Lathe of Heaven. Alright, next book I read was Robert A. Heinlein, Citizen of the Galaxy. Fantastic. Fantastic book. It's Heinlein. Read all this stuff. Then I read Michael Punk, The Revenant. It's good. If you like the movie, if you like the book, they did a really good adaptation on the movie as well. This is another good example of the movie did a good job. More Dick. We got PKD's The Three Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch. This is a heavy... Some of his books are really heavy religious-wise, and this is... I mean, it's Philip K. Dick, man. He turns the world inside out and upside down 3 or 4 times, and you've got to go with it. It's good. It's good. Great sci-fi. Biggest goofball book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. This is a fun book. This is very fun. A lot of British humor. It's very good. This is Joseph Heller's Closing Time, is the sequel to Catch-22 that I read last year. I loved that book. This book was, what did I write about this book? Stand by. Yeah. Catch-22 was better. I felt dumber. And the last 50 pages sucked. If you like the character of Yossarian, if you know anything about Catch-22, you'll know what I'm talking about. You get some great dialogue, you get some stuff, but this book, just stick with Catch-22. And if you don't know anything about Catch-22, there's a mini series on TV right now that you can watch. It's pretty fucking good. And it's way easier to keep track of than reading the book. Alright. But Catch-22 is still good. We are now at Yukio Mishima, Sun and Steel. This is a very cool book. Big man book, very well thought out. This is like reading philosophy. I read this like I read philosophy, and I did a lot of note-taking and underlining. It's excellent. Highly recommend it. And written by the last man who committed harikiri in Japan publicly. So, there's that. He's obviously a motivated individual. You may want to hear what he had to say. Pretty good stuff. Alright, after Sun and Steel, we are now at book 17. We got Ballastar Gracian's The Pocket Oral and Art of Prudence. I don't know how I came across this, but I did. And I gotta say, it was good. And not only did I underline something on damn near every fucking page, but even in the notes, I took notes in the back of the book. Right here, note 38 in the back, on page 116. He's referencing Cicero's On Duties, which, by the way, you should read that as well. So this is a great book. It's kind of like, it reminded me of Machiavelli's The Prince, but written by a monk. All right. Next thing, another Vonnegut book, which I had great success with Vonnegut this year. So far, this is Bluebeard. I really liked Bluebeard. Bluebeard's a great book about an old World War II vet, which Kurt Vonnegut was, and him dealing with all the tragedies of his life. And this is a fucking good book. I loved it. Clifford A. Simak, or Clifford D. Simak, time and again. Nice little old school copy right here. I think I got this for like a couple of bucks. Back in the day, this sold for 75 cents. 75 cents! This is great. Awesome sci-fi. Simak has not let me down. I liked his book Waystation, and that book was just as awesome. Just a great break. Sometimes you need a break. You read Bluebeard, you read Closing Time, Sun and Steel, Pocket Oracle, An Art of Prudence. Sometimes you need just a good little sci-fi fucking badassery. Simak was great for that. All right, after Simak, time and again. That was it. I read Thermopylae, Battle for the West by Ernell Bradford. All right. This is a great book. It's a little misleading. This is way more than Thermopylae. This is also gives you the background with the marathon. It gives you everything with the history-wise and what's going on in Athens and Themistocles and the Battle of Salamis. All this is actually in this book as well. So you get a really good overview of that entire theater of war, not just the Spartans and the Battle of Thermopylae. This book actually covers everything. And it's very good. It's good. The maps in it are great. It's awesome. I took so many notes. It was a blast. It was very, very fun. And it's very honest. And definitely where the Persians deserve praise, especially with things like logistics and managing thousands and thousands and thousands of warriors, not only in the fleet but in the army. Super honest in their capabilities and how they were head and shoulders beyond everybody else. Excellent book. Another Heinlein book, Job, A Comedy of Justice. I don't know if this is sci-fi. I think it might be fantasy. I don't really think there's any sci-fi going on here. But it's Heinlein and it's Heinlein. Can you go wrong? It's good. I enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. The tower's getting a little unstable here. All right, let's see where we're at. So we got Job, A Comedy of Justice. We got some more Dick. PKD's Flow My Tears, The Policeman Said. Good little dystopian book. This is fun. Again, reality is not what it seems, inside out and upside down. Good Dick book. All right, this is my first E&M Banks book. Good sci-fi, big space opera. First, it's called Consider Phlebas. It's the first book in the Culture series. Apparently there's like, I don't know how many of them. I've only read 2. Fucking great book. I mean, E&M Banks, outstanding. Lots of fun. Great ideas. Charles Bukowski. Hollywood. This is good. This was fun. This is very fun. And the great thing with the Bukowski books is they're all the audiobooks are on YouTube if you want to watch it. If you want to listen to it, just when you're driving and just laugh. It's good. You won't be disappointed. Or you'll be disgusted. There's a chance of that. Yeah. All right. Another one of... This is a treasure now. I had not read this before. This is Plato, The Last Days of Socrates. The little Penguin Classics edition, which are fantastic. I got this for $6 used. This is up there. I wrote in this may be the best book I've ever read. Now, I've got a bunch of books like that. There's a lot. You got Marcus Aurelius, you got some Nietzsche, Zarathustra. You know, it also depends on your mood, but this was fucking beautiful. This was up there with, and it's Plato, so yeah. When it comes to the dialogue, it's up there with Shakespeare, in my opinion. That's my retarded opinion. But when it digs to the end, and you're dealing with Socrates and his best friend Crito, and the dialogue going back and forth, but and the friendship and the loyalty and the love and everything. This is one of the most beautiful books I've ever read. That's true. That is without fucking question. Plato, The Last Day of Socrates. You should read it. And that's not up for debate. All right, here we go. Cheers. Or skull. Oh, God, so good. All right. After Plato, we went back to some, high fiction. So we read sort of literature. Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian. This is a good book. And it's biblical. It's brutal. Brutal book. Nowhere in any way, shape, or form is it politically correct in any way, but it is true. A lot of it, the things he's digging through in this book is true. And it's ugly, and it is. And I highly recommend reading it. But if you're sensitive, limp-wristed soy boy, you probably don't want to read it. You're just going to cry. And same with the last book, with The Last Days of Socrates. All right. Next book was Arthur C. Clarke's 2001 Space Odyssey. It's fucking excellent. If you have an Audible account, this is actually included in, you get a free Audible audiobook with this. In Audible. I recommend doing that. It's awesome. It's fucking good. And this book is really good. And it made me want to watch the movie. The movie was so fucking slow. And you got to forgive me. I'm 47 years old. I'm Gen X. That movie fucking burned me out when I was fucking 10 years old or whenever the fuck I saw it. And I could only get through half of it. And I'm still emotionally scarred. It was too fucking slow. I know it's cinematically beautiful and it's actually right. But after reading the book, I want to go watch the movie. And it's very cool. Very cool. They made the movie and wrote the book at the same time. Pretty neat. All right. That was number 27. So number 28 was Nova by Samuel R. Delany. Just skip it. It's not that good. It's not worth reading. It's not worth wasting your time. All right. Next book. Buddy of mine. Corba. This big redheaded son of a bitch. He's a very lovey, cuddly dude. I don't know, it's a weird combo with him. He gave me this book, The Samson Syndrome. I'm like, all right, I'll read it. I crushed it in like 2 days. It's fucking excellent. I highly recommend it. I took a lot of notes. It was a used book. Somebody else had already highlighted a bunch. I'm fine with it. If I'm highlighting stuff, I keep it. I don't give it. But there's a lot of wisdom in here. A lot of wisdom. It's all true. I highly recommend it. It's written by Mark Atterbury. It's called The Samson Syndrome. And I'm an old guy. I've been surrounded by a lot of strong personalities and strong dudes, both physically and professionally, since the late 90s. And I'm going to tell you right now, everything in this book is true. I highly recommend reading this and understanding it, so maybe you can avoid some of those pitfalls. It's good. All right, next book. Another Kurt Vonnegut, Cat's Cradle. Good book. It's the end of the world. You got to remember, Kurt Vonnegut he's an anti-war guy. He was a World War II POW, surrounded by death and hell in Dresden, and he's got a viewpoint, and it's fucking valid. And it's good to listen to other viewpoints. Can't be pro-war all the time. You can't be fucking anti-war all the time. You gotta know there's a time and place for everything. That's why you read Vonnegut as well as you read about Caesar, or you read Hemingway. Hemingway is the opposite of Vonnegut. All right? It's fucking good. You read them both, become better. Next book. Anne M. Banks, The Player of Games. Great sci-fi book. Highly recommend. All right, we're coming towards the end. I know. Hopefully this hasn't been too long. We're on book 32, Against the Ice. This is a 10, and the movie on Netflix right now is actually pretty good. That's if you still have a Netflix subscription after the whole weird stuff they've been doing. But this is excellent book, Against the Ice. Against the Ice. True story. Insane. I could do a whole video just on that book. Ray Bradbury, The Martian Chronicles. Winning. This is good. It's set up like a bunch of short stories that all tie together, and it's a lot about the human condition and societies. Caesar, Life of a Colossus by Adrian Goldsworthy. This is great biography. The audiobook is really excellent as well. I took notes all through it. Great maps and great photos of the man himself, or not photos, but photos of sculptures and death masks and of Rome and where they would speak, and it's just so good. I mean, look at that. Oh, it's so. Oh. This is very good. Excellent book. All right. The tower's getting a little unstable. But now we're to the last book. Book number 35 of this year. So, we're 4 months in, 24 days into the year 2022. And the last book I read was Black Rednecks and White Liberals. Woo! This is fantastic. Thomas Sowell, motherfucker. This guy, fantastic. And this is so this came out in 2005. It's 2022. It is probably more relevant today than it was in 2005. Highly recommend it. It's excellent. It'll challenge you. All right, signing off. Have a good one. Apparently the wife and dogs want to talk to me. Enjoy.